Welcome in, latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bretton. Go by SEC Mike on the Twitters, but not today. Today I'm VFL Mike. I think I do this here, and he's cousin Shane, of course, the big Tennessee homer. He's a Tennessee homer every time, to be honest with you. But today he's GBO. Shane, what's up, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Roto says it's sad we won't see Auburn and Kentucky preview till the end. Guess all their fans are saving their money for the buyout.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I've never been early for a show, but I was for this one, Mike.
You know who else is early, Shane? Is old Horton.
Oh, yeah, Horton. Hey, cuz, what's going on? Sorry, everybody's here's the thing. Behind the scenes, you hear that noise? It was like it was super like quiet for 3 hours. And then we jump on, and it's like everybody in my house is like, hey, let's do something. So sorry, I apologize.
Well, apparently Horton couldn't hear you. So he's gifting you a membership.
Yeah, he sounds like he's at your house, Shane. So Horton, we appreciate you, buddy. He's gifted Susie Smith. Susie. Welcome to the family. And get out of cousin Shane's house. He's trying to pod right now.
Seriously. I'm trying to focus here. 1 hour. Hey,
right.
Anything? So any other news before we jump into Big Orange here?
Yes, it's the real UT. No other news matters, Shane, because them Vols just went to the college football playoff. And let me tell you, I've been out on them all off season. Studying up his team, studying the schedule.
Yeah.
I might be back in. Shane. So
come on.
Let's do it. 2024. Quick recap. Oh, my Lord. Let's see. I don't even know if I've. Here we go. Tennessee 10-3 last year. Shane 6-2. Got a little bit of a problem on the road. We'll get there. That's the one hiccup here in the Josh Heupel era, but. I think a lot of fans, they were pretty pissed off how the season ended, as they should be. Yep. I mean, it was a travesty, but it was a travesty that Ole Miss couldn't accomplish that they would have given their soul to do. Oklahoma, Missouri, Florida, South Carolina, on and on and on. They would have loved to make the college football playoff, but it was Tennessee, Shane, that actually made it. And if they had the correct seeding, it would have been Tennessee hosting Indiana. They would have whooped their ass. So they fixed the seeding. Tennessee's the victim once again, but that's neither here nor there, Shane, because the program's on solid footing. Tennessee's rising. Everything's good. Then the quarterback left. Damn it, Shane. We were right there, but no. All jokes aside, I mean, last year that was a hell of a step forward for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if we would have started the season, I told you they're going to make a playoff. Even if I told you they would lose in the first round, I think Vol fans would have been very excited to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're piecing together. Okay, this team's probably going 10-2, which they did. Big win over Bama. That's one that they kind of got over. Florida, they got lucky a little bit with them, but yeah, I think as a Tennessee homer, you were ecstatic, and you were excited about the future of this program, even though there were some question marks that kind of reared its ugly head toward the end of the season anyway. There were some things that needed to be corrected, and we've kind of got a little bit of a hard reset. But all in all, brother, I'm telling you right now, I have no doubt in my mind that Josh Heupel will always keep us in the mix. You know what I'm saying? We may not make the playoffs every year, but by God, we're going to be in that conversation every season.
Well, you know who's always going to keep us in the mix, Shane?
Who's that?
Legend, Cousin JR has done it again.
Cousin JR is blessed. Sam Sharrock. Sam, welcome to the family.
The memberships in this podcast are brought to you in part by Cousin JR.
And he even threw in an additional $5, Shane. If it wasn't for Nico drama, you might have had a better chance against Ohio State. So
I wonder. You wonder, because you hear about the financial conversations that were being had in that locker room prior to a playoff game. So yeah, I absolutely. You know what? New chapter, brother. New chapter. Flush. How can you be pissed off about a playoff run?
Right. And it all starts with Josh Heupel. You were giving him a shout out there, Shane.
Yep.
He's 65-23 overall as a head coach, 37-15 at Tennessee, which, again, if you remember the Tennessee he inherited, that's outstanding. He's 20-12 against the SEC. Again, not where Tennessee wants to be historically, but they're climbing back to where they belong. Hell, they owe Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Missouri, South Carolina, A&M, Oklahoma, LSU, Mississippi State. Get the hell out of here. That's the way it was under Fulber. And Heupel's getting us back to that era, splitting it with Alabama and Florida, which, God, I think the last 6 coaches combined, Shane, I don't think they've won 2 games against Bama or Florida. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Again, going 2-2 against Alabama and Florida is pretty huge. And we'll just forget Ole Miss. That was year 1. Arkansas, that was a fluke. Had the quarterback not run out of bounds with the time expiring, probably would have won that one. And then Georgia, hell, nobody could beat Georgia. So I don't hold that against them. Do you?
No. Like you said, Ole Miss, Arkansas, those really should have been wins. And Georgia, I mean, we got officiating we got to get over. So that's always going to be a problem. I think this is one of the funniest comments tonight, Mike. I got to mention it. Dog says, haven't seen Shane this excited for a podcast since Cracker Barrel added stuffed cheesecake pancake breakfast to the menu. Hey, listen, there's a lot of teams that have trouble with the Georgia Bulldogs. There's a lot of teams that have had trouble with the Ole Miss Rebels here lately. You know what I'm saying? I think when Josh Heupel took this job, and if I would have saw this graphic right here, I would have said, you know what? We got him. Yeah, we got him. We got our guy. And I cannot be upset with what kind of production Josh has had since he's been up here on the hill.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned troubles against Ole Miss and Georgia.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't have troubles against those programs, Shane?
Who's that?
Bama. Come on, Steven Up. Steven Up's gifted a membership, Big Bammer, and he does not know what it's like to lose to Georgia or Ole Miss. So we appreciate you, Steven Up. He is blessed. Let's see. Mitchell Owens. Mitchell, welcome to the family. Courtesy of Steven Up, who's he's just laughing at all this talk of struggling against programs. You know what?
God, the haves and have-nots. You know what I'm saying? Just we got JR. You notice I'm noticing a theme. You know, the one that teams are having trouble against. Those are the best donators today. So,
yeah, I'd be donating too if my team is dominating college football. You know what?
Absolutely. Let us celebrate something, Mike.
All right, so let's get into real quick. I mean, both coordinators are back, so not huge news there. Tim Banks, defensive coordinator, was up for the Broyles Award last year, best defensive or best overall coordinator. So that's, you like the continuity, but where we're lacking continuity, this is a complete opposite of Florida, Shane. This is why, go back, check out Florida if you missed it, why some people are fired up about Florida and some people are questioning old Tennessee. Just 29.5% of the total offensive production from last year is returning. That ranks 14th in the SEC. Only 1.6% of the passing yardage is back. That's 15th in the conference. Now, it was a lot higher, but some guy left. Well, I don't even remember his name, but he's gone. Rushing, 29.4% is back. That's 13th in the SEC. But hell, I'll give him this, Shane. I think Deshaun Bishop, 455 yards, 6 yards per carry last year. And Peyton Lewis was a freshman, 339 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those are 2 solid running backs. So I'm not saying they're devoid of talent at the running back position by any means. Receiving yards, 31.3%. That is 11th in the SEC. Chris Brazel's back. Tight end Miles Kitselman is back. And it's kind of bad, though, Shane, when 2 of your top 3 returning receivers are tight ends. But Ethan Davis is a hell of a tight end. So I'll just put that out there, too. But then here's where I'm concerned, because this is where Tennessee's dominated. And a big reason why they've been so good in recent years is continuity on the offensive line. 25.9% of the production offensive line snaps are back. That's 14th in the SEC. With only one guy back, your left tackle, at least one starter, Lance Hurd, who's played significant snaps. So a lot of new faces here for Josh Heupel. This is if you're down on Tennessee, this is why. If you this is kind of the big thing this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. And there's some things that I'm not worried about. It's like a quarterback production under the Pirates offense. Regardless of name, we're going to have some production there. So I'm not as worried as at the rushing game.
Yeah.
The receiving, you could argue that was one of our biggest problems last year. And so new faces may be a good thing, but I cannot argue with the offensive line. That is also my biggest concern with the new quarterback is having one guy coming back and it's Lance. Lance had ups and downs last year. I feel like this is going to be a kind of a breakout season for him, hopefully. And but godly, they're going to need him. They're going to need him. The offensive line is definitely a worry spot for me.
Well, hey, you sound down, Chase. Well, I'm gonna lift you back up.
Bring me back.
Because this is a defensive program anyway, Shane. On the defensive side of the football, 67% of production's back. That's fourth, brother, in the SEC. So defense just gonna lead us to another playoff run. That's all it is. Tackles, 64.9%. That's fourth in the SEC. Tackles for loss, over 60%. That's number 7th in the SEC. Interceptions, over 66%. That is 6th in the SEC. Passes defended, over 73%. That is 3rd in the SEC. Number 1, Shane, in defensive backs, snaps returning from last year, over 77%. And then the defensive line snaps, where they rotate 26 guys seemingly down there.
Yeah.
59.7%, 5th in the SEC on defensive line snaps. And how about this, Shane? Again, you look at Tennessee's D-line, you say, well, they lost a first rounder to the draft. They lost, I can't remember if Omar Norman Lott went in the second round or third round, but he was a high round pick. Yeah. So, man, they're hurting there, right? Not so quick. They had 6 guys returning with over 200 snaps on a defensive line last year and 7 with over 100 snaps. So this is a very veteran defensive line that, once again, should have a really good season.
And if you're a diehard Vol fan, there have been several seasons when you didn't have that depth at defensive line, and it really hurt you, especially toward the end of the year. And I felt like that, obviously, man, Tennessee's defense is I'm not going to say the only reason, but it's pretty much the only reason that they made the playoffs last year. And the fact that we've got all these guys coming back, this bodes well. This kind of erases some of those mistakes that offense is going to make early in the season. We got a lot of veterans over here and a lot of continuity. And again, expecting big things from this side of the football.
And now we hit the transfer portal. Good news, bad news, Shay. We didn't need the guys. We only got 7 transfers coming in, 22 transferred out, but basically all of them couldn't play here anyway, in my opinion. Let's just tell it like it is. On Three's got this as the 31 transfer class in the country. 24/7's got it as the 80th. So, of course, we lean on 3 on this one, Shane. But again, I kind of kid with that. Not a ton of transfers. There was a glaring need at quarterback, so they bring in Joey Aguilar, who technically is transferring over from UCLA, but before that, he was at Old Appy up there slinging the football. And then 2 names to know, Shane. These guys project as immediate plug-and-play type offensive lineman. Wendell Moe at Arizona.
Yeah,
he's got 27 career starts, Shane. He was an all Pac-12 performer. 0 sacks allowed for old Wendell Moe. So, plug him right in at guard. Sam Pendleton, he started 7 games for Notre Dame and went all the way to national championship, Shane.
Yeah.
Played 13 games, over 480 snaps at Notre Dame. So plug him in at the other guard. Amari Jefferson was the top receiver in Tennessee 2 years ago. He went to Bama. Nick Saban retired. He said, well, I ain't staying here. I'm coming back to Tennessee. They got running back Star Thomas from Duke, who had 870 yards last year, 7 touchdowns. Yep. So again, and Colton Hood is a guy they picked up in the spring portal that could play corner, or could start at corner depending on Jermod McCoy's his status. So we'll get to him in a minute. But this is the guy everybody wants to talk about for good reason. Shane, Joey Aguilar, throwing up his statistics on the screen here. But you know what is kind of glaring? A lot better in 2023 than he was in 2024. We don't follow Appy, so you know I can't give you the full insight, but I know the coach got fired after 2024. But if nothing else, Shane, you're getting a gunslinger, over 50 touchdowns, 24 interceptions too, though. But I mean, a guy that is, I don't think he's 100% going to be your starter. I assume he is.
Yeah,
but I don't know if you're putting him in a much better position, better coaching staff, better surrounding talent. I think there's reason for optimism that he can come in here and win you a bunch of games this fall.
And I don't know what it is, Mike, but we all do this. We do this with every quarterback comes in. I've done it with every Tennessee new quarterback that's ever started since I've been watching this damn game. And I've created in my mind that he is perfect for this team, you know, and there's something about, yes, I know you're looking at the interceptions and, you know, I'm looking at the yards, brother. You know, I mean, 23 threw for almost 4,000 yards in an App State team. You know what I'm saying? And he comes in here going to have the opportunity. What is the one thing that drove Tennessee fans nuts last year? Was we never took the top off the defense, man. We had this small little glimpse of what Heupel's wanting to do in 22 when we had you remember the quarterback, what's his name? Hendon Hooker. And it felt like 23 was like, all right, we got Milton, but don't worry, Nico's right around the corner. And then Vol fans, myself, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for me personally, I just felt like this offense never could get going. And it's frustrating because I've seen peak Josh Heupel offense. And say what you want about Aguilar. I want a guy out there. He may throw a damn interception. We got a defense to fix that. I like an offense that could take the top off, and then all of a sudden in 2 plays, we're dancing in the end zone, you know?
Right. And that's another thing we probably should have highlighted real quick when we were talking Tennessee.
Yeah.
But you remember, last year, Tennessee, I believe it was Oklahoma, Arkansas, Florida, and Bama. So 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Where Tennessee, I don't believe, I could be mistaken, but I don't believe they scored a touchdown in the first half. And I think they were shut out in most of those first halves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So again, this was an offense that wasn't working too well. Mm-hmm. And we're just going to blame it on the past quarterback. I mean, that's all it is. You know what?
See ya.
So, hey, real quick, they signed the number 11 recruiting class, 8th in the SEC, but some big-time potential impact players, Shane, like 5-star David Sanders at offensive tackle. He looks like he's going to plug in immediately at right tackle. Isaiah Campbell, the number 4 defensive lineman in the country. We referenced Tennessee loves to rotate those defensive linemen in and out. Look for him to get on the field, you know, nowhere near a starter, I wouldn't think. They typically don't start freshmen on the defensive line, but they get them plenty of reps so that they can be good to go year 2. And then some other big-time talent. Shane, number 4 tight end, Deshaun Brame. They got him to flip from Oregon.
Yeah.
2 receivers to know. Travis Smith, he was the number 10 receiver. And then everybody raved about this kid, Radarius Jackson, number 31 receiver in the spring. So Tennessee needs help at receiver. You're probably going to need some of these young guys to step up in some critical situations. And then just one other name to know. Honestly, Shane, I think if we're leaning on this guy this season, we're probably in trouble. But I think he's got a bright future. And that's the number 15 quarterback in the country, George McIntyre.
Yeah.
Who, again, I think he's got a bright future. You really want a true freshman under center in the SEC? I wouldn't think so, but who knows? May I would have said the same exact thing about DJ Lagway last year, and he saved Florida's season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes you don't want these guys to be rushed, and like you said, if we get in that situation, something's really went wrong. But I I hope it's really right, and we have opportunity in some of these games. This easy schedule, which we're about to get to, to maybe get some of these younger guys in there that we, for some reason, tried not to in the past.
Yep. All right, so let's get at the projected offensive depth chart, Shane, and okay, so we had to get some transfers again at quarterback.
Yep.
That was kind of unexpected. Offensive line, though, I like the pickups on the offensive line, and then again, Amari Jefferson, one of the top receivers 2 years ago. So top. Now this was difficult, Shane. This I ain't gonna lie, this was a tough one because I'm not saying this is like an awful team or something, but there's no glaring strong suit. I'm going to be fascinated to see how this Tennessee offense looks this year, but I'm going as the best position group. I'm going running backs right now.
Okay.
And that's just because we've seen Deshaun Bishop rush for over 450 yards. We've seen Peyton Lewis rush for over 330 yards. Mm-hmm. Two younger players, they were behind the reigning SEC Offensive Player of the Year, so they weren't going to get a ton of run last year. But when we did see them, they looked solid. So I like the depth there, and then don't forget the transfer Star Thomas from Duke, who he had a very successful season. So I'm going a little bit talent, I'm going a little bit depth there, but give me running back as the best position group on offense. And then again, I'm taking a major leap here, Shane.
Yeah.
But I'm saying offensive line. How about that, buddy? Because I think Lance Hurd will be better in year 2. I like the transfers, Wendell Moe and Sam Pendleton. And I love the fact we got the number 2 offensive tackle prospect in the country, David Sanders, coming in. So, again, the talent is there. It's a mix of talent and experience. Center's a glaring question mark. But right now, give me the offensive line, number 2. Number 3, receivers and tight ends. With guys like Miles Kitselman's one of the best players. Chris Brazel, I think in year 2 takes a jump. And then loads of talent with Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley, Amari Jefferson, and some of these freshmen, tight ends and receivers we got coming in here. But that means dead last. And again, not because they're like awful or anything, but they're a huge question mark. I'm going quarterbacks last. Jake Merklinger's back for year 2. We mentioned George McIntyre, the freshman, and of course, Joey Aguilar, the transfer. So I just don't know. I don't know who's going to play at quarterback, and I don't know what to make of them when they hit the field.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's extreme separation here. I would imagine this is one of the tougher rankings that you've had to do because you can make the case. You talked about offensive line. You could say the same thing about the stuff we've heard about Brazel. Mike Matthews taking a big step forward. Boo Carter coming over. That wide receiver room went from nothing to maybe something. And same thing with the offensive line. I think you make some really good points. And we met David. We saw David down there in Nashville. I'll tell you what, man. Didn't look like no damn high schooler I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? He was a damn brick wall. And I do think that he's a kind of a plug and play. Now he's going to have some growing pains, of course, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I worry about the offensive line, just the cohesion part of it. But I think they'll mesh.
Yeah, no doubt, Shane. No doubt.
Hell of a list, Mike. Hell of a list.
Now the defense, again, I love it. No transfers in the starting unit here. Tons of returning starters, Shane. I already kind of tipped my hand. Defensive line, I think far and away the best unit here with Dominique Bailey and Bryson Eason back. Joshua Joseph, Jackson Moy, Tyree West, Davin Hobbs, Caleb Aaron, Jordan Ross, Tyree Weatherby. Shane, they're just going to throw wave after wave after wave of these elite defensive linemen at SEC offenses. And oh, by the way, I forgot the number 4 defensive lineman in the country, Isaiah Campbell, the 5-star. So again, very deep, very talented defensive line. That's been a critical area for Tennessee, and it's been obviously paying off. But the defensive backs are solid too, Shane. We'll have to see Gerard McCoy, who unfortunately tore his ACL in January, if he's ready to go. He was a second-team All-American last year. Ricky Gibson is one of the best number 2 corners in the conference. Andre Turrentine's a returning starter. And then everybody loves Boo Carter. I mean, Dion did everything he could to steal him away from Tennessee, and Boo said, "Nuh-uh, I ain't go play the loser conference Colorado. I'm staying in the SEC." So Boo Carter's a breakout star, and everyone I talked to, Shane, they love this. Andrees Farouk, the emerging second-year safety. They've not had an elite safety in a good while, but a lot of people think this Farouk, who his brother is at Oklahoma, this could be the guy. So secondary should be very strong for Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm really liking this defense, man. I mean, there's going to be we're going to need some dudes to step up, but this is a defensive group that it wouldn't blow my mind if 6 or 7 of them at some point are playing in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reputation that they're bringing and what Heupel wants, man. Heupel want defense first, and by gosh, he did it. We had a couple of guys we thought we were going to lose there for a second, but the Tennessee money showed up, and they're going to stick around.
And then we got linebackers, Jeremiah Thielander, Arian Carter. So again, we don't have a lot of linebackers in this defensive system, but the ones we got, they're a hell of a player. Shea played in every game last year. So Edwin Spillman, he's an emerging talent. I believe 2 years ago, he's the highest rated signee they have. So again, talent all across this Tennessee defense, not a concern for me.
No, not me either. Me either, brother.
And then, as always, Shane, don't forget kicker. 13 of 20, Max Gilbert. He was awesome. He kicked a 52-yarder. And if you got an Australian at punter, you're doing all right. Jackson Ross was all freshman team in the SEC last year. So, buddy, special teams got that all locked down too.
Fun guy to watch too, I mean, you never want to see him on the field, but it's like, if you're going to watch, let's have this guy do it. So yes, really, really talented, brother.
Yep. All right. So the biggest fall camp question, Shane, $1 million question. And the fall camps are always more interesting. It wasn't supposed to be this way, but they're always more interesting when you got a quarterback competition. So I just think that looms over everything. Will it be the transfer? Will it be Jake Merklinger coming back? Again, most people assume it's going to be old Joey Aguilar with all these passing yards, but who knows? I wouldn't. Apparently, they gave Jake Merklinger a big raise this spring. So, what does that tell you? They probably got confidence in him, and I don't know. Could be either one of those guys.
Let me ask you 2 questions on quarterback here, Mike. If you had to bet who the first quarterback will be out here, who do you think it would be?
I mean,
if you're just $100.
I mean, I honestly can't give you an answer. Because what am I betting on here? I mean, we've literally not seen the one guy put on the uniform yet.
Yeah.
And then the other guy threw 6 passes last year. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess Joey Aguilar, because you're bringing him in. He's got all this experience, but he doesn't have experience in this offense. He doesn't have experience in this conference. For all I know, you got to trust in the coaches, but he may not fit at all in this offense. What if that's the case,
Last question on the quarterbacks. At the end of the year, Tennessee would have started how many different quarterbacks, in your opinion?
Oh, you're saying how many quarterbacks will they start this year?
Yeah, I mean, do you think that we really got a controversy where we could see a quarterback change halfway through? Maybe a kid, like you mentioned, Merklinger, maybe it's a guy that just finally takes that step forward or something. Do you feel like Tennessee will start and end with the same quarterback, or do you think we'll have a switch halfway through?
No, Heupel doesn't do the switch. So he'll commit to a guy, but then here's the unknown variable. And, we don't wish this. I don't even like to talk about it because I don't like the bad mojo. But when you're breaking in 4 new offensive linemen, how well can they protect the quarterback?
Yeah.
You're sitting here asking me these questions. What if Jake Merklinger looks like $1 million and then he's our starting quarterback and then he's lost for the season in the opener against Georgia? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a reality too, because again, you're working with a new offensive line.
Oh,
hey,
buddy.
shut up.
Come
Cousin
on, cuz.
Tracy just gave us $20.
Hell yeah, Tracy. Thank you,
We're
cuz.
Before I said the quarterback's gone for the year, we're going to be all right. 9-3, 10-2. Go
Hey!
Vols.
Hell yeah, go Vols.
Let's see.
Should have donated 1998 though, you know.
Go Vols.
And then, well, we had a couple more, Shane. Great cousin Gregory. As a Mizzou fan, I want to shout out LSU baseball number 8.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but okay. Rick, cousin Rick, $100, Shane.
Damn.
I pull for every SEC team till they play my Aggies. I pray for healthy fall camps and each cousin's teams. We are blessed. We're blessed by you, cousin Rick. We appreciate you.
Cuz. Absolutely.
Aggies.
Yeah.
We do that, you know. I mean, when fall camp starts, that's the first thing I think about. It's like bubble wrapping these guys and making sure they stay healthy. There's a few that you just can't afford to lose right now, and just pray everybody stays safe.
And we got a question here from cousin Gregory, Shane.
Yeah.
Cousin Shane, should Tennessee maybe lean more on the ground game with so many questions at the quarterback spot?
Well, I think naturally that's what Heupel does anyway. And that's why I'm not worried about that running back room, just because there will be production there. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting offense. It's just like that offensive line, the quarterback, the chemistry that they have. You know, if we start having 5-yard stupid penalties, encroachments and stuff like that, then all of a sudden it's like it ruins the mojo. So I'm more worried about them all being on the same page come week 1, because, buddy, they get thrown right in the fire.
Yeah, that is a concern, Shane. So, all right, let's jump into the win, loss, or toss here. For Tennessee. So this is where I got it, Shane. You let me know if you got it any different here. So I got for Tennessee 8 games that Tennessee should win, which is pretty outstanding for an SEC schedule these days. But give Syracuse and Atlanta in the opener.
Yep.
East Tennessee at home, UAB at home, at Mississippi State, Arkansas at home, at Kentucky, New Mexico State at home, and Vanderbilt at home. Do you disagree that any of those 8 should be wins for Tennessee?
I do not disagree.
Okay. So I got 3 toss-ups at Alabama, Oklahoma at home, and at Florida. 3 toss-ups in my mind. Do you disagree with any of those toss-ups?
Maybe the only one I would consider the Oklahoma possibly a win, just because it's at home. But you work so hard on this list, I cannot disagree with you.
Okay, and then Georgia I have is the only sure loss.
Yeah. I think, early in the season, that's I don't know. Yeah, it should be. It probably will be, right?
You sound very unsure about all these.
I know, man. I'm trying to just keep it in check, but truthfully, I feel like Oklahoma should be a win. If you're coming from an optimistic side, an optimistic point of view from the Tennessee Vols.
Yeah, because of Mike Andrews, he's a big Sooner, Shane. He said
he knew it was coming.
Homer Shane time here.
I'm trying to dial it back.
All right, so now let's break it down game by game prediction, Shane. We're doing this from a best case, optimistic, maybe a little tinge of homerism, if you will, for them Tennessee Vols. Week 1. This is tricky, Shane. Syracuse.
Yeah.
Completely different story, I think, if it's in Neyland. And probably maybe even a different story if it's in Syracuse. But it's in Atlanta. We got to do away with these damn openers in Atlanta. I mean, it's college football belongs on campuses, in my opinion. Again, we just kind of went through it all, but a lot of overhaul on the offensive side of the football. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. We don't know who the star receivers are going to be. We don't even know who's going to start at running back. We don't know who's going to start at offensive line. It's not gonna matter. Shit. Tennessee's beating Syracuse. And I'll tell you why I'm so confident in it, because quite honestly, I wasn't confident about it, Shane.
Yeah.
Stevens got Syracuse 57th in the preseason poll. They returned 5 starters, and their quarterback is a guy named Ricky Collins, who was at LSU.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's a fine guy and a player and all that. He never sniffed the field. So again, Syracuse, nice program. They won 10 games last year. So that's kind of what was fooling me, but they basically lost everybody off that roster.
Well, and I do like the coach. You probably remember when he was down here in Georgia, but very fiery guy. I don't think he stays at Syracuse long. I mean, honestly, I think he was coach of the year or something like that last year, or he won some award in 2024. But yeah, I'm right there with you. This is not the most favorable game for them Tennessee Vols, but I mean, it's Syracuse. You know what I'm saying? I haven't worried about Syracuse since 1998. We know how that thing ended. They had Donovan McNabb, and he ain't rolling up there. So give me a big victory here for the Big Orange.
How about this, Shane? Since this is the Tennessee preview, I think old Fran Brown, the Syracuse coach, he'd be a hell of a candidate to be the next Florida coach here in a couple months.
Damn, you just had to plug him in. Sure you want to go to Texas, Mike?
No, Texas, Sarkisian's not on the hot seat.
No, he'd be in the NFL, though. I mean, that spot's going to come open at some point.
No, I'm trying to troll the Gators saying their program sucks, their coach sucks.
I got you.
ETSU, Shane, come on. This is one of these games. Heupel's going to score 60, 70 points. He's going to want to get the confidence up of the offense and just go gangbusters here.
And we need it. We don't need an Austin P 2.0 here. They've got some pretty good talent. I actually maybe better quarterbacks over here at ETSU than Syracuse, but you can't let them hang around. I'm with you. This one needs to be put to bed at halftime. So Vols are 2-0.
Yeah. All right. So then we got the big one, Shane. Georgia coming to town. They'll be undefeated, of course. Tennessee, if it all goes right, they'll be undefeated. So this could be a nice little showdown of two 2-0 teams here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Tennessee, Georgia's owned this one. They've won 8 in a row. And yeah, Georgia's got some question marks too. I don't necessarily think this is like some kind of beatdown for sure coming in here. But man, I don't know. I got to see it before I believe that Tennessee can beat old Georgia. I just think that, now, I mean, you could, here's one thing I think Tennessee could have a real advantage.
Yeah.
Their defensive line going up against Georgia's offensive line, which is littered with nothing but like 5 stars, but 5 stars that haven't played a lot, Shade. So again, there's reason for optimism. Maybe Gunnar Stockton, maybe he's not the guy. I think he is, but maybe he's not. Maybe being on the road with these elite defensive linemen chasing him all night long, I think that's a path to Tennessee pulling the upset. But yeah, I'm going to upset you, buddy. Come on, Georgia's winning, and they probably win quite easily.
Quite easily. Jeez, Mike. Georgia preview was a few days ago if you want to check that one out. This is a Tennessee preview, and these boys are not used to playing in loud stadiums. So when they come up here to Knoxville, I think this could be a closer game than people are giving it. This is one of those I feel like could come down third quarter, some mistake, and then all of a sudden the team kind of runs away with it. And because it's been so many years in a row, even though it's at home, I'm going to have to give it to the Georgia Bulldogs. So Tennessee gets their first loss here.
Okay. And the next week, Shane, UAB's coming to town. Do you have any idea? Do you remember who their head coach is? He's kind of like a well-known guy and he runs his mouth a lot. I have no idea why, because his record, it does not back it up. Any clue who the UAB head coach is?
It's the guy that used to do the quarterback thing, the camps. What is his name?
Trent Dilfer. That's the only thing worth talking about. Easy win. Come on, Tennessee's cruising to 3 and 1 here.
Yeah. No, I remember many years ago there was a scare against UAB. Don't want to have that, that little hangover effect here with the potential loss with the Georgia Bull or a victory. I mean, we've also seen the opposite. So can't sleep on them. But yeah, this should be an easy one.
Yeah. You're giving me nightmares. I think that was under Derek Dooley, Shane. It's been that long.
Do you remember that? Oh my gosh.
Now, how about week 5? Now, this one I am kind of, I'm cautious going into this one. It's at Mississippi State, and I know Mississippi State's was awful last year, 2-10, but they should be much improved. They run a similar style offense as you, so they could go up and down the field perhaps. It is on the road. Them cowbell, Shane, they get in your ear. This is one where Tennessee really needs to score early, put them away, because if this is a game that could linger.
Yeah.
And I would think it's going to mean a hell of a lot more to Mississippi State. This is a type of a game that Jeff Lebby can call his signature win. And I don't know. I mean, I sure as hell didn't think Tennessee was going to lose to Arkansas last year, but they did. So this is a tricky game. I don't think it's a slam dunk. I think it's more of a layup. Come on. So we get to win. But again, just tricky. Josh Heupel has struggled a lot of road games here. So I don't know, maybe a little bit closer than the experts think.
This feels like one of those games that starts out Tennessee 28-0. You know what I'm saying? And we're just like, oh my gosh, we're going to score 100 points on this team. And then we don't score anything for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden Mississippi State's just chipping away. And we end up winning like 31-28 or something crazy like that. You can't sleep on State. I felt like this is a big year for them. I just hate how their season starts because they got some games that they can't afford to lose, and I'm anticipating that they do. What does that look like now, week 4? What is the fans? I mean, shit, that the stadium was empty. I remember during that, what was it, Florida game? It was just like, what are we doing? I feel bad for State fans because if there's any team that probably deserves a big victory, it's these guys, but they're not going to get it. So give me Tennessee Vols with another victory here.
Yeah, only the 4th meeting between these two since 2012, which I hate the way this damn league sets up the damn scheduling. You know what?
I remember their first SEC championship game, and they lost it to Tennessee Vols.
Hey, shout out Cousin Rick. He's back. Shane, $20. State upsets Vols. My bold prediction.
What is Rick doing here? Rick, stop it.
He's trying to rile you up. And then how about Cousin Mike's something similar? Can you imagine Shane's face on the emergency pod if State wins?
No. What are we doing? No, get this evil out of here. Do not put this evil on me.
They're trying to hijack the Tennessee show.
Oh, no. Let's we talked too much about Mississippi State. Let's go on. Right.
Next week, Shane, Arkansas comes down. Revenge. But how about this? The Razorbacks, for those that don't know, they've won 4 in a row against Tennessee. What? Yeah. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But, man, last year Tennessee was a huge favorite, lost on the road. Will this year be any different? Taylon Green, we think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. Bobby Petrino, those two can. What a matchup that could be. Arkansas offense versus Tennessee defense. Here's the problem, Shane. Arkansas defense, not too great. But again, maybe Tennessee's offense isn't that great. So I don't think this is a slam dunk either, Shane. But I do think the home field will be enough to get Tennessee a win, and particularly after Arkansas beating them, so they'll have Tennessee's full attention. Give me the Vols, but maybe only by a touchdown.
Yeah, this is a good one. Right after a bye, I think Neyland's going to be rocking for this one here. And, we ball fans sometimes have short attention spans. We forget things easy. We don't forget that loss last year. And I feel like there's some of us out here that feels like that one got away from. I mean, that may have been the reason why we didn't get a better seeding in the college football playoffs. I could guarantee it. So, and that's the one that they kept going back, trying to keep Tennessee from getting in the playoffs to begin with. So, this was a hot topic late last year, and you better damn believe that this game got a little bit more personal. So, I like the Vols here.
All right, how about the 3rd Saturday in October, Shane, down in Tuscaloosa? Tennessee's not won in Tuscaloosa since 2003. Whoa, buddy, that's a long time. But Tennessee's broke a lot of streaks against Alabama here lately. They've had a lot of luck on it. Even when Nick Saban was a coach, Shane, they beat him. And then they went down the following year, and they were up 21-3, I believe it was, nearing the end of the first half. So, again, Heupel's had a lot of success against Alabama. Yeah. Kalen DeBoer, will he even be the coach by now? I mean, I think he will be. But they may have run his ass off by this point if he lost to Georgia, lost to Florida State. Who knows? But, this could be a season-defining type game for both programs, really.
Yes.
And I've heard it said, Shane, that down there in Alabama, the people that matter, obviously the Auburn game's number one in their book.
Right.
And Georgia is developed into a nice little rivalry, but they have owned Georgia. To the people that matter, this is the game. This is the game that they cherish down there. You don't lose to Tennessee. Otherwise, DeBoer may be out on his ass. Give me Alabama. I think Alabama wins it. The difference being this one's at home for Alabama.
At home for Alabama. Just pencil them in. Victory, right? Mm-hmm. That's just what we're used to since 2000. What'd you say, 2003?
2003.
Jeez, I was still getting carded back then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, wait, was I? Yeah, I may have. Yeah, I think I was old enough to drink. Yeah. So it blows my mind that it's been that long, but this Alabama team feels a little bit different, And I don't want to be like the Boston College guy. I'm not trying to say that, but what I am trying to say is
Nick Saban can't save him.
It's not the red team anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not where I feel like there's plenty of talent. Alabama's going to be loaded. This is going to be a hostile environment. This is going to be a extremely tough football game to win. But I'm also optimistically looking at, hell, if you're going to go down there and win, this may be the year. The only concern I have is our offense. And if, defense is going to keep Bama in check, I would imagine. But if we're getting nothing on the offensive side because Alabama equally has a great defense, that could be a tough matchup. So it pains me, but I'm going to have to give Tennessee Vols this one. Another victory, big victory down in Alabama. Never happens, but I don't know, man. I think this may be the year.
Wow. Isn't it kind of wild change? DeBoer comes in with this, the background as an offensive guru, same as Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
And now they're leading like defensive programs. I mean, that's what the SEC will do to you. You know what?
Yeah, absolutely. And Bama, again, I'm looking at Bama. There's a lot of question marks on their side. So I can't just say they're going to have it all figured out as well. Third Saturday in October is going to be a really, really, really good football game. And honestly, maybe one of those games, loser doesn't make it to a playoff. There may be a lot riding on this game. So interested to see how this plays out, but I'm a homer. I'm going to get Tennessee though.
Excellent point by cousin JP, Shane. He's a big Sooner. Key to beating Bama, just running up the middle, a la Jackson Arnold there. So that's 100% right. You know what?
Hell yeah.
All right, next game on the docket, Shane, at Kentucky Putty.
Yes.
Poor Kentucky. Stoops, no wonder he's drinking, Shane. Tennessee's won 4 in a row in this series. Tennessee's won 37 of the last 40 in this series. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem to matter if Tennessee's awful, which they're not going to be awful, but it doesn't matter if Tennessee's awful and Kentucky, for some reason, is good, and they won't be. Tennessee still finds a way to win this damn game nearly every damn year. So no matter where it's going to be played, Tennessee gets a win here.
Tennessee gets a win. And, we do that little cute thing where we make this a ball game right before it is. And then we're like, what were we doing? What were we doing? This wasn't a ball game. Coach Stoops sitting over there, like I said, smoking pale males. He ain't going to win this damn football game. Give me the Vols big.
Now, I think this could be the biggest game of the year for maybe not of the year, but it could be. It could be, Shane. Oklahoma comes to town. And we'll see how good Oklahoma is. They equally have a lot of questions, just like Tennessee.
Yeah.
But they got a lot of answers, too, in the offseason. So, on paper, I think Oklahoma may be the better team, Shane.
Yeah.
Problem for Oklahoma is obviously they're their gauntlet of a schedule compared to Tennessee's. I don't want to call it a cakewalk, but one of the more, if not the most favorable schedule in the conference. So, again, this is going to be a season-defining game in a lot of ways. I really do think, Shane. And while Oklahoma, I think, has found a lot of answers, particularly at quarterback, running back, the offensive line should be a lot better. Receivers, I mean, they got to be better, right? If they can stay on the field, they're going to be a lot better there. Got a lot of respect for Brent Venables as a defensive guru, but not on this Saturday. Come on, say Tennessee, Josh Heupel. This one's personal. I think the home field is different. If this was in Norman, I would go Oklahoma. I really would.
I worry. I'm gonna be really transparent here. Best case scenario, and I'm kind of tipping my hat. I'm just telling you. I feel like best case scenario, the Vols go 10-2. They maybe get up for the Bama game, but they lose sight, just like they did with Arkansas last year. It just feels like either the Oklahoma or the Florida game is going to catch them. And even best case scenario, I don't know which one it's going to be. I'm probably going to lean a little more toward Florida just because I've seen that. Hell, I just did the Cleve heave, I mean, that one to Butch Jones going down there, can't run it on the goal line. You know what I'm saying? And it's cursed down there, but it wouldn't surprise me if Oklahoma doesn't give Tennessee a fit. It wouldn't blow my mind if they won this game, but if I had to pick one, I'm probably going to lean more toward the Florida one. So give me a win here with Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, fair or not, Shane, I think, again, this game is November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I think both these teams could look completely different come November 1st.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Oklahoma could be favored by a well, maybe not a touchdown, but maybe like 6 points. I can see Tennessee favored by 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything in between.
I just don't think. Godly, there's going to be so many storylines up to this point, and more so, I think, with Oklahoma, and if their season,
right, that's exactly what I'm saying. If they lose, let's say they lose to Michigan, Auburn, Texas, at South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you get to Tennessee, even though you may have beat them week 2, right. I'm right there.
And Tennessee may be, 7-2.
Yeah, you're right. No,
but I don't think that's going to happen to Oklahoma. But I don't think that's like crazy to project either.
We do this. We do this every damn year. We just say, "Well, that's an easy one. That's a hard one," and then we get to the end of the year, we're like, "Oh, we didn't know this team was really good, or this team was now bad."
Right, and that's the thing of the SEC, right? Like, just here's a perfect example. Last year, Auburn. If I would have guaranteed you, Shane, that somehow I could look into the future and say, guess what? Auburn's going to lose to Cal, Arkansas, embarrassing game against Oklahoma, Georgia, and Missouri. Okay, I guarantee you all that, right?
Yeah.
And then I turn around and tell you, guess what? I can guarantee you that A&M's going 7-1. How much money you want to put on A&M Auburn? You said, I'll put $1 million on A&M, right?
Yes.
Then Auburn comes out here and whoops them. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's just how damn crazy this league is.
Absolutely. Well, Oklahoma and Alabama, Ole Miss and Florida. It's just
Ole Miss, Kentucky.
Absolutely, man.
But it's also crazy, Shane, to even bother on New Mexico State. Get the hell out of here. Easy win. That's another 50-point blowout here. Tennessee's going into the Florida game, perhaps with a lot on the line. You know what?
Absolutely. What a mascot there. I mean, they could actually have guns. I'd still favor Tennessee.
All right. So, hey, going down to Gainesville, Shane, what a game this could be. Same. I couldn't believe it. I guess I should have known this already. When's the last time Tennessee won in Gainesville? Do you have any idea?
It was a long time ago, man.
I couldn't believe it, but again, I said I should have known it. 2003. So it's the same year as Bama. So they've lost to Bama and Florida on the road every single time since 2003, which is just damn wild to think about. This is going to be a wild one. Again, how's it going to go for Billy Napier and them? Could they be derailed? Could they be fighting for a playoff spot? I don't know, Shane. I've seen this game. You could tell me Tennessee's 10-2 and Florida's 2-10.
Yeah.
And it don't matter. I'm taking the Gators in the swamp to beat Tennessee. That's all they ever do. So, yeah, I don't feel good about this, regardless of what happens to Florida. To be honest with you,
no, and again, you've seen it for 20 plus years of going down there, high expectations, same results. High expectations, same results. It's frustrating as a Vol fan, and it's why some Gator fans don't even look at this like a rivalry, because they own their ass. And that's why, Mike, when we started here, I told you, I said Tennessee's going to lose one. It's either going to be Oklahoma and Florida. But I got to be honest with you. They ain't losing this year. Not in that damn swamp. Billy Napier probably going to be fired by the time this game comes around. Getting my shoes out. We're going to talk marathons before this thing gets cranked. But give me another victory for them Tennessee Vols.
Okay, so then I assume final game. I mean, we got Diego Pavia running his mouth. He's coming to Neyland. That's a bold statement here. So, again, I got more respect for Vanderbilt than most. Return more on the offensive defense than anybody in the conference. They're also returning home with a loss. Come on, Shane. I like Tennessee 9-3, best case scenario here. And again, I don't think that's good enough to make the college football playoff, but I think that's a hell of a year when your damn starting quarterback leaves after spring football.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what bus he climbs on and tells the country how he feels after this season, Mike, because ain't nobody going to have him on. So this one here, big victory for the Vols. This one's not going to be close. Again, I think it was important that they fell behind last year because some of these games that you're just used to steamrolling, you can't. Vanderbilt is a better football team. I think Tennessee will be prepared this time.
Hey, cousin Brandon, he gave us $2, Shane. He said, man, in 2003, he was 2 years old.
Damn.
So he has never witnessed Tennessee winning in Tuscaloosa or Gainesville, and you're predicting both here.
And that's what's crazy. It's Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, well, maybe it was a bad couple decades. I guess that, they wrote books about this. So, yeah.
Yep.
We're so optimistic, but, it's Tennessee for you.
These are the games I got listed as the most important to have a good season there on Rocky Top, Shane. I'm going Oklahoma number 1. I just think that's going to be such a huge game for Tennessee. At Florida, hell, they win those two. If they win both Oklahoma and Florida, they may be going to the playoff.
Yeah.
And then I'll put Alabama third because everything you said, I think could be true. Now Alabama's my pick to win the SEC, so I think they're going to be really good. But there's a scenario where they're the same or similar to last year, 9-3, 8-4 type. So that could be a playoff type game as well. So for Tennessee, these are the 3 that I have as the most important.
I would probably drop one. I'd probably drop Bam. I really think Syracuse should be up there. I mean,
Tennessee's a 2-touchdown favorite in that game.
Doesn't matter, man. Week 1, crazy shit happens all the time. I would say Syracuse be number 3. I think Oklahoma number 1, and probably Bama. Probably Bama would be number 2. That's kind of the order I would go. I mean, we're not far off here. Now, I don't know. Shit, Florida needs to be up there too. I don't know. Maybe you are right.
All of
Maybe
them.
you are right. All of them are important, Mike. 1 week at a time. I do. It's something about it, brother. I don't know if maybe it's just my PTSD from watching this, or was that battered Vol syndrome?
Yeah.
I remember getting so excited about that West Virginia game over at, Bank of America Stadium. It's like, man, we are going to kill. Trey Smith is going to destroy that front, and then we get our asses handed to us. And I'm like, oh, sometimes those season openers really do kind of take the wind out of the sails.
Because when Mike wants to bet you some Cracker Barrel that Oklahoma beats Tennessee.
Oh, I did see some bets here. Sorry, Tennessee isn't beating OU this year. Come on, what kind of bets we doing here? We'll come up with a bet. I don't mind. I don't
Well,
mind doing
he
it.
says Cracker Barrel is the bet.
What is it? Just like one meal?
Yeah, probably one meal.
All right. Let's say. I mean, I got to take the family. I can't just eat by myself while they watch. So let's say $50 Cracker Barrel gift card right now. Let me know if he says yes to that.
So 11-1 optimistically. What's your confidence on a scale of 1 to 10 that Tennessee can scratch? Because again, they didn't do it last year, and they were probably a better team last year.
I think I probably told them 11-1 last year, Mike. I can't remember the preview, but I'm pretty sure it was close. I would say realistically 70, 68%, 6.8.
68%, 11-1.
Yeah, Tennessee's got the easiest schedule in this conference, man. I mean, seriously.
Easier than Missouri?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, based off a few rankings here.
I'd rather have Missouri's schedule. No Georgia, no at Alabama, no at Florida.
I think at Auburn, at Oklahoma, those are the two games you don't want right now. I'd want those at home. A&M, yeah. No, I think Tennessee's got Georgia and Bama. That's what you're looking at. Those are probably two of the toughest. And then you can't sleep on Oklahoma. You can't sleep on Florida. And I'm not saying it won't be a ball game. I'm just saying.
What about Ole Miss?
I like Ole Miss schedule, but again, on the road with Oklahoma, this is I no.
I like how you say at Oklahoma's tough, but you also say no shot Tennessee loses to them.
Well, it's not at Oklahoma. I was worried about it last year. I ain't worried about it this year.
You crazy SOB. So for sure, yeah, 11-1.
Yeah,
that makes Tennessee a playoff squad.
Oh, Tennessee will be a playoff team. I truly believe it. It's funny that I don't think they were on the list. Steven had a list. He had 5 teams. He said LSU, right. Georgia, Bama, Florida, and the 5th one?
Bama. Texas, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the 5. Tennessee wasn't in the mix, and that kind of surprised me, because I feel like
I don't think they're on anybody's list to make the playoff.
Who the hell wants to play them right now? Syracuse ain't going to want to play that game. They've probably been trying to get out. Okay, we got a bet, Mike. You got it, brother.
I have Tennessee at my power rankings. Let's see. 12th. Well, I think all those teams want to play Tennessee. I think they'd beat them.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm drinking too much orange Kool-Aid. I don't care. 11-1 is like silly. I think 10-2, very realistic. 9-3 is probably where we're landing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're going to be a fringe playoff team. But if Aguilar hits or whatever quarterback we put out there hits, the offensive line comes together like we think it could. Somebody emerges in that wide receiver room. You know what I'm saying? The defense continuity carries over into 20. If the defense is 90% of what it was last year, that's a championship defense, Mike. You pair that with a decent off, you're winning a lot of football games.
Let me ask you then, because again, you're kind of on an island here, 11-1. What in your mind has happened to get him there? Is it Joey Aguilar? Let's say he's like a Heisman finalist, or is it, they're a running machine again, and they got this great defense? Like, what are you seeing in your mind's eye that maybe some others are not seeing today?
I think that you have to have, what's the best way to word this? Yeah, you have to have, like, they have to fear you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And there were some games last year that I don't think they feared Tennessee's offense like they did in 22. 23, there was like hits and misses, but it's just, there was no respect for the passing game in general. And that kind of blew my mind, and it made it tougher, but thank God we had a monster back there at running back. I believe that if this is truly going to happen, Aguilar may not be the next great kid drafted in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But he may be a guy that at least has the threat of throwing the football, running the football. You thought Nico would be I mean, when he decided to run, he waited to Ohio State to do it, it seemed like, but it's like the clock wasn't ticking. And sometimes you gotta be able to pull it and run. And I feel like Aguilar is going to be one of those guys like, dude, he's going to get hit. He may not be the fastest dude out there, but at least he'll keep the chains moving. So there's just no threat back there in Pat. Like we just prayed that they completed a pass last year, and you can't have that and then pair it with one of the greatest defenses that ever filled for the Tennessee Vols. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of those guys are coming back. That's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just optimistically, big time optimistic, is that somebody in that quarterback room takes the chance, you know, that Heupel lets him play some damn football this year.
Yeah, well, that's one thing Aguilar likes to do. He takes chances. So last thing I was going to ask you, would you trade? I can guarantee you he's going to throw 40 touchdown passes, but that means I guarantee you he throws 20 interceptions. Would you make that trade?
Boy, that's a lot of interceptions. I don't know about that one. Let's dial it back a little bit.
No, that's the bet. I guess you would just say no to that then.
Yeah, I could do 20, but again, you got to have it, and the defense is going to help you. I keep saying that, but it's the offense that we've got to have some life out of. And I mean, it was pathetic last year at times. That Arkansas game, I'm like, what the are we doing? This, you know, I'm not going there. That was last year, Mike. 2025. We got Aguilar now.
All right. Hey, last thing, Shane. Cousin Tracy gave us $10. Appreciate you.
Thank you, cuz.
No one has Tennessee on the list, and he's talking about the playoff list, and I'm glad. 10-2, go Vols.
Yes.
See ya on Feinbaum tomorrow, Mike. I guess they announced that because I didn't announce that, but I'll be on there tomorrow.
Go Vols.
5:00 Eastern, 4 Central. Anything else, buddy, before we hop off the line?
No, I'm just glad I was afraid this show is going to be 2 hours long, but Mike, I really do appreciate all the work and effort you put into this. And I do love the fall camp previews. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Please stay cool out there. Think about me golfing every single day, because that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you guys again.
All right. See you guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. Till next time.
All right. See you guys.
Hey, buddy, this beer's for you, Mike, and Cousin Shane. That SEC podcast loves the Pirate, and the Pirate loves that SEC podcast. Hail State.